So tell me what the importance of continuously training your mind like you train your muscles.
Before trying to enhance your mind, you need to know how first what your brain is comprised of and then what your mind is comprised of. So starting with the brain, you need to understand that your brain is made up of
an unfed mind will devour itself, yeah?
Yes, sir.
So tell me what the importance of like keep on continuously training your mind like you train your muscles.
Well,
I like that.
You know, before trying to enhance,
man.
it's very hot. Before trying to enhance your mind, you need to know how first what your brain is comprised of and then what your mind is comprised of. I'll start with the brain. So, you know, scientists can hold a brain in their hand. It weighs this much, it's this length, it's this width, it feels like this. Scientists aren't able to measure the mind. You can't give metrics to the mind. You can't say the mind is 3 meters long and, you know, 10 feet high. Scientists still to this day can't determine how big the mind is. So starting with the brain, you need to understand that your brain is made up of multiple complexes. You first have the reptilian side of your brain. Now, the reptilian side of your brain is flight or flight. It's your reaction to stressful situations. So as humans were evolving, we needed that brain in order to help us run from whatever, right? And to stay alive. You know, this is why in stressful situations, adrenaline is released. That comes from the reptilian brain stimulating you to get ready to either run or fight. Same time, a hormone called cortisol is released. Cortisol is a stress hormone. Now, cortisol lowers your immune system. So by triggering stress, you can lower someone's immune system. Now, this makes you think about the games the media plays with stuff like COVID and all these other things, right?
I don't watch no news.
Of course, you're going to catch COVID when the news has bombarded you and your family members are all crying about COVID because you're releasing stress hormones subconsciously and that's lowering your immune system. That's the reptilian brain. Then there's the mammalian brain, which is responsible for your limbic functions and your emotions. Specifically within the mammalian brain, there's something called the amygdala. This is why if you're walking down the street and you see, you know, someone getting beat up, you'll shake a bit because that's your ability to relate to someone. This is why when someone is sad, you can almost feel their sadness and you want to
empathize.
I saw something about that. Something about mirror on. I can't remember. I'm not even gonna pretend like I know. Something about mirror. So like you relate to someone else because your atoms or whatever mirror someone else's, if that makes sense.
Specifically, it's the amygdala, and it's the same. It's the same time when someone's getting violated, your boys are mocking you, everybody's laughing, everyone's just gonna keep laughing. And it's just gonna. That's the amygdala. Then you have the human brain. The human brain is comprised of the left hemisphere of your brain, the right hemisphere, and then in the middle you have something called the neocortex. The neocortex is the higher consciousness. So supposedly when the left hemisphere of your brain and the right hemisphere of your brain is balanced, your neocortex is activated. This is seen through individuals such as Jesus, whether you believe he existed or not, or Yeshua, whichever you prefer to call him, and then Buddha. So when your neocortex is activated, then you have supposed higher consciousness because you can see things balanced. So for example, stuff like politics is supposed to imbalance the hemispheres of your brain. It's nothing more than a play to get you to lean or tip the scales of your brain. So this is why, you know, you should kind of stay away from politics as a system. I mean, use it for your credit. It's good being on the pole and shit. But other than, you know, actually believing it, always try to see two sides in things. And that's your brain. Now, the mind is within the brain, within your DNA, outside of you, around you, in the plants, in other people. And, you know, your mind can be compared to a lot of things, but the simplest way I'll say it is that, you know, your mind works like a social media algorithm. And social media algorithms are actually copies of the mind. They got the inspiration for how social media algorithms work from the mind. Because if you keep watching videos of some girl shaking yash, that's all you're gonna see. If you watch videos of cute dogs all the time, that's all you're gonna see. You're only gonna see dogs, right? If you see videos of cats, you're only gonna see cats. Now, based on the fact that, you know, the universe is mental, as within, as without. It's like when you're about to buy a car, right, and you keep looking at this car, all of a sudden
you see
start
that car everywhere.
Exactly, but no one ever thinks about it. When you start, looking at certain dogs or something, you start seeing it everywhere. And you're about to buy a new pair of Jordans, you start seeing it everywhere. And it's because they modeled social media algorithms after the mind. So when I say the unfed mind will devour itself, if you're not feeding your mind things that are healthy for it, it will devour itself, and that will look like a circumstance where you're poor, reality seems out of your control, you're struggling, continual failure, hell of misfortune.
Strong.
That's what you're gonna see.
Strong. You're dropping a lot of gems there. So just jump in, my bro. Let's talk a bit more about the social media aspect. What type of information do you consume on social media, if any? Why?
I attempt to consume. Well, first of all, I actually don't use social media a lot. Like often, I'll just post and then come off.
So you create and don't consume on social media,
more or less. But when I do observe, it's stuff like you guys, something that I'll get a contrasting view to. I like to watch people with bold opinions. So like, various people, your Austins, your Pocus, your my friend Will, the Godfather, you guys, Purpose-Led, people that I don't particularly agree with in every aspect, but people that will help me expand my consciousness to learn. Because I think the basis of learning is being able to learn or take in information from people that you don't particularly agree with. So when I am consuming information, it's information that will completely better me. I'm not watching videos of a dog run across the screen, because it's like
see, I think that's
how can it help you?
That's a big gem there as well. Just for everybody watching, before I even carry on, subscribe up the thing. That's a gem, real gem, because at the end of the day, you got to be cautious of the information that you consume on social media, because what you don't realize is that is literally reprogramming your mind as and when you're watching these things, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying that, oh my days, every single video I must watch has to be about learning about metaphysics or learn about chemistry formulas, but what I am saying is just be a bit more cautious and selective with what you choose to consume on social media. Do you know what I mean? Because as Nero just said now, he likes to consume things that can either give him a contrasting view to his own, so challenging his own belief in a good way to help him learn something, or literally that he'll go out there and seek new knowledge. You know what I mean? That's someone who has a good perspective of social media. But you get other people who are like, oh nah, social media is bad for you. No, social media is not bad for you. We already said it before, your social media is bad for you. Do you know what I mean? Because the things you consume are detrimental to your mental health. You watch gossip, you watch other people's lives that are subconsciously making you anxious because you haven't yet achieved the same things, materialistic things that they have. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, just be cautious of that. That's what I would say.
Which is exactly why I just mainly watch people that put content out there, mainly their thoughts. And like I said, the Godfather is someone that I've been watching for time, and like one thing he keeps telling me is consistency in every aspect of my life. So even when it comes to new knowledge, consistency, business, consistency, health, all every aspect of your life has to revolve around consistency. Because consistency, he's actually quite metaphysic in it, but people don't clock it. But consistency leads to a vibration, and a vibration leads to a rhythm. That rhythm corresponds to the universe, and then you're on that level. It's like when you're continuously seeing that car everywhere, or you're continuously seeing struggle. They're all nothing but points of vibration.
And let's even talk about that, because I would even go as far to say, and I've said this before, that I personally believe that discipline and consistency is the glue that will bring us success together. That's what I genuinely believe, hands down. Like even with the podcast, we're consistent, no days off. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. What's your kind of relationship with discipline specifically? Because I feel like as well as being consistent, you can be consistently undisciplined, which means that you're not really going anywhere. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you've got the consistency front. How disciplined would you say you are as an individual?
I'm very disciplined, because I'm at a point now where I can silence my mind at will. And it's not something that not many people can do. And I feel like our culture heavily relies on motivation. I get messages all the time, and I'm sure you guys do too, people saying, how can I stay motivated? But motivation ain't enough.
It's an emotion.
It comes and goes. It's not enough to consistently do what you want. So I left motivation. You know, I got tired of trying to be motivated, and I just said to myself, I'm gonna stick to this and stick to this.
Facts.
Even with metaphysics, when I'm practicing certain types of meditation or moving energy throughout my body or stuff like that, it requires utter discipline, because you're going into a place that, you know, even though we think we own our minds, you don't really own your mind to an extent. Coca-Cola owns your mind, because from the day that you've been born, every time Christmas comes around, you see that advert with Santa driving across on a truck, and your kids are going to see them. As soon as you
see red, you think of Coca-Cola.
Your kids are going to see them, your grandkids are going to see them, and their kids are going to see them.
Strong.
It's all about mental real estate, and I feel like discipline helps you build a fortress when it comes to mental real estate.
I always say, when you lack motivation, just stay consistent, and through you staying consistent, that motivation is going to kick in again.
You just have to like go into, I guess, motivation overdrive to the point where you don't have any, but you don't want to rely on it.
Yeah,
facts, literally.
100%.
Like, and I also would go as far as say, let's talk about that a bit more. So motivation, let's break down what that is. It's an emotion. And what is an emotion? It's literally energy in motion. Break the word down, do you know what I mean? So all you are doing when you're feeling motivated is you're putting the energy you already have into the motion of getting you to do something, because you're feeling motivated to do that. Does that make sense? So I don't feel like you should rely on motivation, because that means you're relying on emotion, and emotion fluctuates. You know what I mean? Emotion is literally like a wave. You gave the example of like a river when you talked about currency flows, etc. Emotion is just like that, in a sense, where it flows. You know what I mean? You're not always going to feel motivated. You're not always going to feel happy. You're not always going to feel sad or angry. Do you know what I mean? So when you take the emotion out of it and start doing it by discipline and consistency, which is more logic, you can never really fail or go wrong.
That's why I feel like it's important to have a strong purpose. Do you understand what I mean? Because once that motivation is gone, which it will go, like for sure, your motivation will dry up. That purpose is going to kick in. That reason why is going to kick in. Do you understand what I mean? So whatever you're doing, you need to have like a strong, solid reason for you doing it. If that makes sense.
Strong, dropping gems. So quickly, just before we wrap up as well, I want to touch on TV. So do you consume TV, and like what does that look like? Very
vaguely. If I'm watching TV, it's the same shows. Everybody Hates Chris, My Wife and Kids.
It's a big show.
You know, serious in it. Big Bang Theory. From time to time, I watch series, but like it's almost like my mind won't let me. So when everybody's watching a series, my mind will be like, nah, just read instead, because I think I know how fickle the subconscious is. I know how easy it is for something to take root in your mind, and you know, people don't know how, you know, powerful the subconscious is. It controls 98% of your life on a physical plane, and on a metaphysical plane level, it's the only reason that you manifest things. And people kind of see like manifestation as something as getting what you want. It's not getting what you want. Manifestation is simply the physical expression of your mental creation, and you create every single day mentally, but just not in the ways that you think. So I want everybody to think about this, right? There's people that you don't there's people you don't like for whatever reason. How many times do you argue with those people in your head? How many times do you argue with people in your head? Everybody argues with people in their head, but no one knows why. But there's no difference between consciousness and reality, because consciousness is the substance of reality. So every time you're arguing with people in your mind, you're creating conflict within your mind, as within, as without. It's a matter of time before you then end up having conflict in your mind. It's like, there's some people that you're just like, for me, I got hella aunties. So I'm just like, my aunties are just nice. Like, they're just nice. But it's like, are they nice because they're actually nice, or they're nice because within me, I perceive them? Your
perception. That's nice. Why I say life's about perception. Me and you could go through the same situation, yeah, but our perception could be completely different. Do you understand what I mean? So you can look at the situation like, bro, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life. I can look at it like, all right, cool, this is an opportunity for me to grow now.
Facts.
And because of that, my outlook of the situation is going to be different. Therefore, my outcome is going to be different.
Exactly.
Glass half full, glass half empty. And even back onto the point where I asked you about TV, I find
that quite interesting. I feel like
Nah, you didn't.
No, but we all do that sometimes, you know. Like when we see a question, like we'll go somewhere completely different.
So far that you forgot what was even said in the first place.
But this is what I really wanted to kind of discuss quickly is like, I personally like yourself, I'm very conscious of the things that I consume. Does that mean to say that I don't watch TV? No. Or YouTube? No, I do. Do you know what I mean? But I'm still conscious about the effects and results of me consuming said shows, said series, said films, etc. Because like you said, the subconscious is fickle. You don't know that by you watching this one Top Boy movie, deep down now you think that, oh yeah, there's a possibility of me. Do you know what I mean? It sounds dumb, but it's true.
You know what's crazy? I was watching Snowfall, and there's this scene in Snowfall where I think Franklin's friend's little cousin gets killed by some Mexican guy in a gang, and the guy literally sliced his neck. That night, I literally had a dream where I saw someone's neck get sliced.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, the next day I woke up and I was like, raw. Just from watching that show.
Yeah.
And that scene was no more than 1 minute.
Yeah, see, and that's
straight
why
in there.
That's
why I
something
literally
in my
say
mind
to
as
you,
well.
That's literally facts, bro. And that's why I say, like, when you come to TV, yeah, break down the words. Like, words cast spells, you know what I mean? Let's start there.
Definitely.
That's why it's called spelling. We all know that, yeah? And take it a step further, when you break down the word television, yeah, TV, television, in old school, I'm pretty sure it's Latin, the word tele means telling you, it's a command. So by the word tele, it's telling you to do something. Vision is sight. So again, Latin, it's either Latin or Greek, don't quote me, but it's either, it's one of the two, which basically means that vision is telling you what to see. So break it down, television, telling you what to see. Do you know what I mean? That's what TV literally is telling your mind what to see and what to consume. And that's why it's called, when you're sitting at home, you're watching Coronation Street or Emmerdale with Mumsy, and what does Mum say? Oh, I don't want to watch this anymore. Change the channel, change the program, because you're changing the level of programming that's going to program your mind.
And you know how slick, know how slick it's got. Yeah. It's got so slick that, many people have clocked the TV thing, like you just said. But then I feel like the new form of programming is social media, which is way more powerful than the TV, because with the TV, let's say there's 4 of you in the house. Sorry, I keep moving from the mic. Let's say there's 4 of you in the house. If your brother's watching TV, this is my time. But now everyone's got a phone in their hand. We can watch whatever programs we want to watch,
and then well.
Simultaneously you're getting insight into how people live their lives. So more so, you're getting the thoughts that another individual puts out. The universe being mental. This is why anybody who's got cousins that are like below 7 will see that man doing mad TikTok dances, and you're thinking, where's this coming from? And they can do it right off bat. And it's 100%. Really because social media is the new form of programming, which is why you should be extremely careful with the people that you watch.
Facts. And the information you consume on social media. Facts.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. So
cool. So on the way out, what we normally do, we leave everyone with a gem that they can take on. It's best to use like a practical gem that they can actually implement into their life right now.
Yes, sir.
So if you give them one, what would that be?
I would say meditate. And it's Hollywood kind of sold this depiction of meditation to make it seem something that is really not. It's not about clearing your mind. Clearing your mind is like being able to bench 200 kgs. It's like something that you get after points of consistency. It's not something you're going to be able to do right off bat. Meditation is very simple. It's nothing complicated. You don't need an app. You don't need anything. You just need to sit down in silence in your room or wherever is silent. You need silence, and just let your thoughts flow. That's it. Don't say you're right. Don't say they're wrong. Whether they're calling you an idiot, whether they're agreeing with you, saying you're the most amazing person in the world, whether it's like, why is that guy from the bus stop? Why was that guy at the bus stop staring at me yesterday? What am I going to eat? Oh, I need to text this girl. Regardless of the thoughts that come into your mind, don't identify, don't judge them, because those thoughts are nothing more than scenarios which your mind didn't get to finish processing. This is why when you try to sit down, it's like your mind starts screaming at you and you can't.
That's me for sure.
Exactly, because you can't find peace. And people think that that's something wrong. No, that's your mind flushing out all the scenarios it didn't get to finish out. You're driving, somebody cuts in front of you, but you have to make this place on time. You're thinking that guy's an idiot. You don't get to finish that thought. You sit down, you meditate. 3 days later, that thought comes back into your mind.
I just finished cussing off in my head them 3 days later.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's almost like when you see like a little pond or a puddle. It's clear on the surface. You throw a rock in there, all the mud and dust arises from the bottom. That's all it is with your mind. And if you're able to clean your mind, you're then more able to see what's actually in your mind. When you know what's within your mind, you have more power to see what's within your reality, because as within, as without. There's no point trying to change your reality if you don't know what's in your mind, because it's the things in your mind that create your reality, not the other way around.
Strong.
Put the brakes on that, my bro. Put the brakes
on.
You're dropping gems. You're dropping gems.
Seriously, we're going to have to get you on another episode. We're going to have to get you on.
I'll be honored.
What about you, my bro? Gem on the way out.
Can't top that, bro. I can't top that. You know, I'm going to talk about this and that, and you know what I mean? I would say my gem on the way out, boom. I'll probably just say maybe vet your social media. That's a practical thing you can do. Go on your phone right now and just go onto your For You page and look at the first 5 videos that comes up. That is just a depiction of what information you constantly like to engage in. Do you know what I mean? Go on your Instagram feed and say what am I being shown right now? Is it something I can learn? Is it something that's practical that's gonna help me advance, or is it just bullshit that's just I'm giving my energy to things that aren't giving me a good ROI? So I would just say vet your social media.
Strong.
That's heavy.
Strong. One thing I would say on the way out, what would I say? Boom, boom, boom. Just do the most reps if you're trying to be the best in your field, just do the most reps at it. Stay consistent the most, and you're gonna see that your growth 10x's, 20x's there. Do you understand what I mean? So that whether you're into the content game, you see your competitors, they're posting 2 videos per day. Double that, do 4. Do you understand what I mean? The person that does the most reps usually wins. So man, double up. That's what I say.
Could I just say one last thing? I want everybody to realize that the world has an agenda to make you put more worth in it than yourself. And the reason why people want to do everything except go within and clear their mind is because their value is external to them. Like Ty was saying, God is internal. I can quote many scriptures that say that, but your mind won't be able to take it because of the way that the religions have organized your mind to perceive it. But once you realize God is within you and the only value is truly within you, it's not about this microphone or this table or these clothes on our body, because all of these things and everything in the world except nature was created by the ego. Anything that's created from the ego is created from a place of limitation. Our minds was created by God. It's untouchable. So I just want everybody to place more value in their minds than anything else. Sure. And really and truly, at the beginning we were kind of talking about the identity of God. I'm looking at God right now. Both of you guys.
Oh, bro, I say it all the time. We are gods in our own right. All of us are gods.
I don't really believe in that, but touch my fist anyway. You're dropping gems still. Can't lie.
And if you want to see God, look in the mirror, because really and truly, even if you look at the structure of the atoms, the way that atoms orbit, it's the same thing as the solar system. Even if you look at the eye and you look at the iris and you look at the patterns, it's the same as nebula in space. Even the way your lungs are comprised of, it's the same thing as the roots in the ground. Everything, the entire universe is within you. When you clock that, you'll stop complaining about being poor and go sort out in your mind. And when you do that, everything will be better.
Strong. So before we jump out, because giveaway. Let's
giveaway. I was about to wrap it up. I was about to cut you lot short. Giveaway. Let's talk.
Definitely.
However, what's the play?
However you guys want to do it.
Well, wait, I've got Trendsetter on there. I'm willing to give away some Trendsetter bits to do.
And I think we should chuck in a nice shirt as well.
And a t-shirt.
Because these shirts, everybody asking, but whoever's winning the giveaway, you're going to be the first person outside of myself and Tay who's actually...
I'll give away 2 tracksuits and a t-shirt.
Okay.
Actually, 2 tracksuits, 2 t-shirts.
Okay.
Cool. Man, just throwing everything on the table. Just that. All
right, cool. So let's put on the table now. What are they gonna have to do to win this competition?
It's up to you guys.
Cool. What are they gonna do to win this competition? Boom. I can't even think off the top of my head. This is what we'll do. As you guys see this episode, just know there's a giveaway, but stay tuned on our Instagram and then we'll post details. We'll post the actual post of the official giveaway and we'll link it back to this episode as well. So just make sure you're tapping in with us. Make sure one of the things you have to do is definitely subscribe. So if you're not subscribed, just come off the thing. You're not winning that. I'll tell you that now. But subscribe, check our social platforms, Energizer Pod on TikTok and Instagram, and then you'll find out more details about the giveaway. It's been lovely having you as a guest, man. You're definitely coming back for another episode, man.
Bro, man like Nero.
We're out.